Drop the beat now.
Hello.
Hello, everybody. Hello.
How y'all guys doing today?
I'm doing good. How you doing?
I'm okay.
Well, you talking about the guys?
Yes, I'm talking about the people.
Ever. You should talk to your husband first.
How you doing, babe?
I'm doing good. How you doing?
I'm good. I can't complain at all.
Not like we'll stop you.
But I'm glad we're back again with another episode.
That's right. It's been a while. We would like to apologize.
It has not been a while.
It has been a while. It's been about 3 weeks.
It has not.
It's been about, you know what? What was the argument with me?
I'm not. I'm just letting you know. It ain't been that long
to
me.
It's been, Tom?
It's been long enough.
Okay, cool. Anyway, I want to thank you all for joining us on the Marriage Can Heal podcast. My name is Pedro.
And my name is Tara.
All right. Today we're going to talk about a couple of things, mainly keys to a happy marriage.
That's right.
But before we get started, we wanted to so how was your week?
I had a good week. How was yours?
Very busy. Long days. But I still made it through.
Yeah. But we still here.
Yeah, we still here.
That's the main thing.
And we would like to just, not really a shout out, but more just, talk a little bit about to pray for Syria and Turkey with the
earthquakes, babe.
Earthquakes. I know. I don't want to say hurricanes.
I don't know.
With the earthquakes.
Yeah.
And stuff. I was just looking at the news and just seeing how the buildings were just like crumbling.
Like tumbling down. Yeah. The thing is, we could be sitting like we are now, and all of a sudden it can just.
You don't say that. You're gonna scare people by saying that.
No. All I'm saying is that stuff like that can happen.
I know that.
And I'm sure that wasn't.
Say it.
No, I'm just saying. Imagine something like that happening. Is
I'm not the one that said that.
I know, right? But it's something that you don't, think that would happen. But I'm sure they wasn't suspecting, the things that had went down.
I'm sure not.
The Lord cover them. Yeah. So as we end today, we end season 3, episode 10. So of the Marriage Can Heal podcast. So we're going to be talking about keys to a happy marriage, our perspectives on it, and we're going to share some spiritual content on it as well to let people know that marriage can be a good thing, even though you may be going through some hard things, and maybe you went through divorce, or your spouse has passed. So many things, separations. It's a lot of things, and it's things that even though you're going through it, having these keys to help us remember that you can get through those hard times in your marriage. Yeah. So as before, like this is part 2.
Yes, it is.
And I hope that what we share with you guys is something that you can use and share with other people. So and if you missed our last episode talking about part 1, you can go back to our YouTube channel, Marriage Can Heal Podcast, and you can go and listen to it there. We're really trying to promote, our YouTube channel more.
Like and subscribe.
Yeah, please like and subscribe and share, so you won't miss no content. We're trying to be more consistent with our podcast and put out more stuff for you guys, as we have the opportunity to do it. So
yes.
Yeah.
That sounds like that really hurt just to say all of that.
No, it didn't.
You were struggling.
I wasn't struggling. But I'm so happy to be here and to talk about this subject about keys to a happy marriage.
Yeah.
Because we definitely still need some keys to our marriage. You know, right, babe?
Oh, we're learning every day. Actually, segue into that point, that we've been doing the 21-day reset.
Yes.
Pastor Paul Graham.
Yes.
Patrick Graham.
Paul.
Yeah, Patrick and Paul. Paul Graham. Pastor Paul Graham.
Yeah.
He has a book out called 21-Day Reset.
Yes.
I recommend that you would buy that book.
Definitely.
You can get it on Amazon, or you can go to get it on Amazon, because there's another site, but I'm not sure.
Yeah.
is a great book because it just talks about all the chapters of John from 1 to 21.
Yeah.
And he goes into detail each chapter about the different things that Jesus was going through and what the disciples were going through.
And right now we're on day what, 10?
We're on day 11.
Day 11. Okay.
Yeah. So and so it talks about just the different how we can reset our lives.
Definitely.
Get rid of those bad habits, those addictions, things that may be ailing you.
Yeah.
So it's a great book. I would recommend it to anybody. And if you have any questions or if you want to find out more, you can always email us at Marriage Can Heal Podcast.
That's right.
Not Marriage Can Heal Podcast. What's our email?
Yes, it is, baby. It's Marriage Can Heal Podcast, baby. You can contact me at marriagecanhealpodcast@gmail.com. Baby, you really got to get better at this.
Baby, because we changed and because my brain still goes back to the old way.
Okay, so anyway.
Marriage Can Heal Podcast@gmail.com. If you give us an email, we can direct you on how to get the book.
Yeah, use some contact information like that.
Yeah.
So
with that in mind, would you like to pray for us before we start?
Yeah.
Okay.
Lord, thank you so much for this time that we're going to be sharing this information on marriage and different points that people can use to help build a marriage to be stronger. Lord, thank you for this opportunity. I pray for in Jesus' name.
Amen.
All right, then you can start off.
Yeah. So as we talked about before in part 1, we talked about different things about like guard your thoughts.
Yeah.
We talked about never go to bed angry. We talked about remember that God has brought you together. We talked about continue your courtship.
Yes.
And establishing your own private home. And we always start off with marriage. Number one in any marriage or any relationship is communication. You cannot survive if you do not communicate with each other.
Definitely.
So that would, of course, God first is number one.
Yeah.
But in terms of husband and wife togetherness, it's communication.
Yeah.
Because that's when a lot of things go wrong because, even they talk about, learning the love language. You don't learn the love language if you don't communicate.
Yeah, definitely.
So communication is key.
Right, because if you're talking to each other, and you getting to know each other even more each day, you start learning what a person like and what they don't like, and just pretty much listening. If a person telling you, this is something that I don't like, or I want you to do this or do that, then you'll be able to kind of understand what they want.
We've been married 17 years, and I still don't know what you like sometimes.
Hey, that's
marriage. You change up. I think you change up on purpose just to be different.
Well, that's life for I think
it's not life, it's you.
No, I think as we get older, likewise with you, you know what I mean? But
I'm the same I was 17 years ago.
I doubt that. But I think as we get older, I think our wants and needs change as well. I don't think it stays the same. I think it kind of fluctuates as we, grow in our life.
You mean you become more difficult?
No, I just you. Why you always got the point fingers at me like I'm a difficult person? You could be the difficult person.
I can be difficult.
Okay then. So let's just leave it at that. And but yeah, I think as we get older, we do change, and I think the way we look at things change, and as we are different people in marriage, you are you, I am me, and we both changing, into what God wants us to be as husband and wife. And I don't think it's meant for us to stay the same throughout our marriage.
No, definitely not.
I think it's a point where we both have to, spiritually grow and physically grow. I think we have to have different perspectives. Yeah, different perspectives on how we are and how our marriage is and how we grow it.
Okay. So right off the bat, we'll start off with one of the points that we want to talk about was that a lot of people may not agree, but divorce is not the answer. It's weird that we're saying this.
Yeah.
Because right when I said that, I know I thought you had in your head.
Yeah.
Because we just was in a meeting and we was talking about the fact that I've been divorced twice.
Yeah.
And that the divorce prepared me for our marriage when I met you.
Right.
But it's rare that happens.
Yeah.
So, in all honesty, we would prefer, we're going to stick with that divorce is really not the answer
Mhm.
unless it's absolutely necessary. I must say, in my previous divorces, it was definitely, I had a big part to play in the divorce.
Yes.
I will never just say it was my ex-wife,
Right.
wives. I definitely had a part in both divorces.
Yeah.
Um, between just everything that was going on. Sometimes it does make sense if you get to where it's a toxic situation, adultery.
Mm-hmm.
And the Bible even says that even though it can be adultery, there still should be forgiveness.
Yes.
And try to work through it.
Mm-hmm.
But I know sometimes that just doesn't happen. Sometimes the pain is too real, the pain is too strong.
Yeah, depending on the people.
It depends on the person.
Yeah.
But if you can, you should agree that divorce is not the answer, because pretty much it says in Matthew 19:6, it says, "What God has joined together, let no man separate or put asunder." When you get married, God is putting you two together. And when you get married, there's a reason why you got married. Even if it's for the wrong reason, sometimes there's still a reason why you're with that person. So if you both want it to work, then you can make that marriage work.
I believe things happen for a reason. Even if it's divorce, it's a reason why you married the person you was with before, and it's also a reason why it ended. And depending on the situation and how things went about, depending if both people wanted to stay in the marriage or if it was just too bad where you just couldn't go back and make things right. Sometimes it's just you can't fix it. You know what I'm saying? You can't fix sometimes it's just broken and you can't fix it. And so in certain extents it's possible to get through and make it through your marriage if things are bad. You just don't ever know what the problems or the situations can be that can be non-resolving for some people, where they be like, it's something that I can't live with. I'm done. I just can't go back to how things was. And it's a reason for that as well. So I don't believe we go through things just to go,
By chance.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm. Well, God ordained marriage in Eden. He designed it for life, for procreation.
Yes.
Then, that's why the vows are so binding. It says the death do you part. So when you marry somebody, through thick and thin, through sickness and health, those words, that's what they mean. Do whatever you go through. It doesn't say that marriage is going to be, roses and wine all the time and happiness. It's like our walk with Christ. Sometimes we fall, sometimes we mess up, sometimes we do things we shouldn't do, but God keeps forgiving us.
I understand that. I understand that point. Because, as you was, and I wanted to touch back on when you was talking about forgiving when you're being unfaithful. Some people, this just for you, like if I was to be unfaithful or you was to be unfaithful, is that something that you can forgive, like for yourself? Like, I guess for me, if I had to really think about it, if infidelity was to happen and you was with some other woman, for me mentally, I don't know. I just knowing that
you already said that you would not be.
No, I was just saying. No, for me, I don't know if other women out there may feel the same way, but I'm just saying, like, if your husband was with someone, other than yourself, it'll just make me feel like, dang, like you was entering someone else. You know what I'm saying? Like, how you gonna do that? You know what I'm saying? Like, and I guess it could be the right thing for me and well, like, how you gonna let some man enter into you? So it's just like if you just breaking that whole thing, because now, you know what I'm saying? Like, it make me feel. It
I
make
already
me
know
think,
how you would think. You were thinking, "Oh, he's with me, but he's really thinking of her."
Yeah, I would
just
think
say that.
I would think
just
that.
say that because you've been around the bush.
I was
been all around the bush and going up and down.
I was kind of trying to say that. I was just saying
in a proper way. Just say it.
Yeah, well, yeah. I was just saying I just couldn't. I don't know if I can deal with the fact of
you've already said that you couldn't
sexually being with someone else.
You said that. That's the one thing that would have probably broke us when we was going through the problems we was going through. That's the one thing that would have definitely broke our marriage. But that's the one thing that didn't happen in our marriage,
Right.
thankfully. So everything else happened in our marriage, but not that.
Yeah.
So that was the one thing. So luckily, or not luckily, God blessed us that did not happen.
Yeah.
You know?
But God knows how much
Even
we
though
can
there was
bear.
opportunities.
I mean, of course, I'm sure we both had opportunities, but I'm just saying.
I said, even though there was opportunities.
Yeah, even though there was, and
neither one of us did.
Yeah, because I didn't want to.
Mm-hmm. But there were opportunities.
Yeah.
For both of us.
Yeah.
Okay.
And I just think, when you make that, I guess for me, it's to elaborate on that. I just think that for me, I guess I had a conscience for myself. Like I'm not going to allow myself to give myself to someone else. Like it's just wrong. You know what I'm saying? Like, no, I'm not going to do it. It's just like God was saying, Tyra, you better not even think like that. You better go on somewhere with that. And I did. And I was just like, you know what, Lord, I got it.
Okay.
Yeah.
So divorce is not the answer.
Divorce can be a really hard thing.
It's hard on everybody.
You know what I'm saying?
People.
Like
it's hard on the children.
Because your whole life shifts.
Because then the family has to pick, do I still like this person or not?
Yeah, that. And then my main thing is, my kids not being able to see either one parent. Well, like not all the time. That's a struggle. And me personally, I don't want my kids to go through that. And
yeah, but now in today's world, now it's like, you have issues. Oh, I just go find somebody else.
Yeah.
And I think I was telling you the other day, I saw a clip where the person was saying that they would never get married again because it's just too much. She's been with I think she said been with her husband for 13 years. She, she still has days where she's like, learning him, like, what is this man talking about? And then to have to go, I've always told you this, to have to go find somebody new and get to know them and get to know their family, that this likes, their likes, that this, I mean, it's like, stay with what you know. I know you. So even if you make me so mad and I'm like, I want a divorce, I'm just going to still stay with you because I just know that,
So you'll stay in a situation even though you're not happy?
No, and I'm not happy.
Okay.
Because, see, just because you may leave somebody to go to something else that you think is happy, you're not happy in the moment.
Right.
You understand? You can't base your decisions on what in the moment. I think sometimes people base their decisions, I'm going to get a divorce because they're mad in the moment.
You know what? That's true because I was plenty of times in our marriage where I wasn't happy.
Right.
And even though I wasn't happy, I was praying and I was like, Lord, you know what? I'm not feeling this, but I know. I just kept asking him, Lord, to heal that part that's making me unhappy. You know what I'm saying? Like, I don't want to stay here. It depends. I say if you got to really have a spiritual connection with God to help you get through different points of your marriage, because you can't do it by yourself. You know what I'm saying? Even if, and then one thing that I would say, God brought a good friend that I can speak to, and that I know wasn't, the information I was telling her wasn't going nowhere else. It was to her ears and from my lips to her ears, and that was it. And we prayed about it together. She helped me through that. And I believe God can send people to help you through different things. But I think if it wasn't for that, because I think, if it wasn't for the good friends and they're worth it, don't go out there and do something, I know you're not happy right now, but that doesn't mean you're gonna find happiness somewhere else. That happiness can stay for a minute, but who says it's gonna last? So I say, going from one situation to the next don't fix the issue. It's just make it more complicated.
Exactly. That goes into our next point where it says about when in a marriage, you need to keep your family circle close. Don't go telling your business to everybody. Doesn't mean that you can't talk to some people.
I think it depends on the person.
You just say you had a friend that you talked to.
Yeah.
And it was a mutual friend. But my point is that we had a couple of friends because it went from one, it was like stages.
Yeah.
We had a couple of friends and we went to one set. We both talked to one set of friends. And then it went to where you was talking to one friend. Right. Mutual friend, but you was just talking to her yourself.
Yeah, I literally just had one friend that I shared my most my stuff that I wouldn't share. I had different friends, but I chose who I chose to speak to different things about.
Mhm.
So this particular friend that I was talking to, I knew I could talk to her about things that I could talk to maybe my other friend about, because everybody, I don't know, God just didn't send me there, you know.
Mhm.
So I used what God sent, and it
So
really helped.
we always talk about this. I think we talked about it in part one where we said, keep your business to yourself.
Yeah,
I
definitely.
think that's one thing that we definitely.
Mm-hmm.
I like for me. Who did I talk to? I didn't really talk to anybody.
You didn't.
Well, we talked, and then we had got counseling,
Mm-hmm.
and then I didn't really talk.
I think counsel is really good,
I didn't
even
really
later
talk.
on in
I didn't
marriage.
really talk to really anybody per se.
Mm-hmm.
Weird thing, actually. Yeah, weird thing. I think the same person you was talking to, I was kind of talking to,
Right.
but that's only because they would check on me and just encourage me.
Right.
But we didn't have a conversation, if that makes sense.
Mm-hmm.
That makes sense.
Mm-hmm.
So, like, yeah.
Yeah, because
So-
I definitely think it's important not to share your information with people that love, like your family. Yeah, they love you. They don't want to see you hurt. They don't want to see you going through situations. Because the minute they feel like, you know, he or she treating you bad, they're going to take sides pretty much.
Mhm.
They're going to be like, oh, he hurting you. We don't like him no more, right?
Mhm.
And then when you
Or
guys
just drop him. You don't need him anymore.
right, or you don't need her
Come
no
to your
more.
family.
Right, you don't need her, man. Just get rid of her. When at the same time, you know, they not looking at it at a spiritual aspect of it. You know,
Mhm.
they just looking out for you at the moment. And if you guys was to try to rekindle and get things back together, they're not gonna forgive you or her or
Yeah,
that
because-
person, because they're gonna be like, how you gonna get back for her? How you gonna get back with him when they treated you like that? You know, like, no, we passed that point. We trying to.
You also need to be careful
Mhm.
with telling people, because that's when the devil sends somebody to come along and they want to listen and they're listening, but then it turns into feelings, and then it turns into more.
Just
And then next thing you know, that you're going out to dinner. Next thing you know, you're in the bed together. Next thing you know, you're like, oh my goodness,
everything
what
that just
happened?
went haywire.
Mhm.
Okay,
Everything just
right.
went haywire. Or even not just that, just flirtatious.
Yeah.
Becoming too flirtatious. And
Right.
becoming too
When you thought that person was just
promiscuous,
your talking person, but then so much can happen when you're in a sensitive part of your marriage, when you're going through hard times.
Mhm.
I would say when you get married, people don't realize when you enter into marriage that it's not going to always be good all the time, like it did when you was dating or in the beginning times when you're in the honeymoon phase.
Mhm.
And when that part fade out, then are you still going to stay there even when you don't like that person? Because there's plenty of times you just be like, oh, I can't stand her, or oh, I can't stand him, and you're going to have those moments.
Yeah, can't stand you half the time.
I'm just saying that there's moments I'd be like, oh, but we all been there. We all go through that. But at the end of the day, how close are me and your relationship now? I would say we, not only is we husband and wife, we are friends.
I thought we was best friends.
We best friends? Okay, so we best friends.
You
on-
just said friends.
the
Like,
given
what
day.
am I? What?
Okay, but we friends. I consider Peter my best friend only because
You consider?
I consider you my best friend.
What kind of foolishness?
You are
Don't try to hold.
okay. Sorry,
No.
you are my friend.
No, I'm supposed to be your best. You're my best friend.
You my best. You my BFF.
What Alpha Nico? See, that's why you see right there. You just get on my nerves.
but for real though, I tell Peter, I talk to Peter about a lot of stuff.
You talk to me about everything.
Yeah.
You always say, I have nobody else to talk to. I gotta talk to you.
But I like that we at the part, where we at now in our marriage.
Even if it's at the wrong time that you
Yeah.
want to talk.
You know what I find now, I can come to you and talk about hard things, which before I'd be like, I don't think I'm gonna tell him that, or whatever. But now I'd be like, I'm gonna tell him, it is what it is. And I feel like when you get to that point in your marriage, you're able to talk to them or your spouse about different things, even though it may be hard at
Well,
the
you
time.
didn't used to come talk to me because you was afraid of how I was going to respond.
Yeah.
Whereas me, I'll come talk to you, and if I knew you was going to be upset.
Yeah.
Because
I just think
as long as we get it out in the open, let's get it out and fix it.
Yeah, might as well.
You know
no sense of
then made no sense trying to sugarcoat it, or
Yeah.
Because then that's just miscommunication.
Yeah. I agree with that.
Okay.
I agree with that totally.
So as we talk, next one we talk about is more than anything. We didn't give a scripture for that. You want to give a scripture for that?
Yeah.
Let's do Proverbs 31, verse 11 and 12.
Okay.
The heart of her husband safely trusts her. She does him good and not evil all the days of her life.
Mm. Yes, I like that.
Why do you like it? Because
I like that because when you can trust the person that you with.
Mhm.
You know what I'm saying? Like I know it's no doubt in my mind that I can trust you. If I feel like I have to have any type of doubt, it's like it's set up. It's like a dangerous mode to be in, to be so doubtful in your marriage or who you with.
Yeah, I have no doubt about you.
Yeah,
Maybe in the past,
yeah,
but not now.
yeah. I just I know I'm just no seriously. You never had doubts about me, you liar.
That's why I'm smiling. That's why I'm smiling because I'm waiting for you to catch what I said. I said that,
Yeah.
and then I was like waiting for her to catch it. Did she catch it? No, she didn't catch it yet. Okay, yeah. Yeah, I never had a doubt about you. I always knew.
Yeah.
Even when it's going through our issues, I knew.
Yeah.
There was times where it got a little perilous, and I was like, oh, I don't know.
Mm-hmm. But I think overall we have overcame. But when I think about how we was before, it's like, wow, Jesus really had been working on us, like for real. Like for real, for real. He had been, working on our hearts.
Right.
And that's what I love about what we are now in our marriage. Yeah.
So another thing with the marriage is love. Love always needs to be in the marriage. Even when you're mad at the person, just you still love the person. Even though it's okay to be mad and still be in love.
Mm-hmm.
One thing I always say is like, you as my wife, you know how to press those buttons. Like you always just get mad at me. Why are you not getting upset? I was like, because I don't care what that person thinks.
Yeah.
I care what you think.
Yeah.
And so like you could just press that button and I would get so mad and be like, you'd be like, why are you getting so mad then? I'm like, because what your opinion counts.
Yeah.
And the love that I have for you. I think as a male, my job, we all have different points in a marriage. And I know for me, my point was always to protect you and protect the kids.
Mm-hmm.
And I was asked the question the other night if one of the children was sick, and I even put, if you were sick and I had to get you to the hospital, like what would I do? And I was like, I would just get in the car and I would just drive 100 miles. I would run the red light. I don't care about the law. If they stop me. I'm just going.
Right. Out of your love for
it. And that's because my love for you is that I want to make sure that you're safe.
Mm-hmm.
And that I want to make sure that you're taken care of.
Mm-hmm.
So I will take away all my safety for your safety.
Yeah. That's love.
And do what I need to do to make sure that you get what you need done.
Right. Or even talking to your spouse, like the way we respond to each other, just one little small thing can turn into a real big argument. Like if you be like, let's say you're like, hey babe, and I'd be like, what? And you'd be like, what's wrong with you? You didn't guess what? Whatever we was going to talk about, then pretty much got thrown out. We didn't argue
that
about.
happens all the time because you always answer the phone like that.
No, I don't.
Yes, you do.
No, I don't.
Yes, you do.
No, I don't. I didn't get
so
better.
I call. See, you got better. See, there you go. I just be like, hey, babe, what? I'm like, what you mean, what? You know it's me calling. Don't be answering the phone like, yo, don't be answering the phone like that.
Anyway, I would just.
Yo would have brought it up. See, I didn't even bring it up.
I know, but I'm making a point. I'm making a point for all marriages.
And I'm accentuating that point that you just made.
Yes. But, that's what I'm saying. The growth part that we have established is that, how we respond, how you respond to a person can really determine how that whole thing going to go. You know what I'm saying?
Let's go into another point, another fact of marriage. And that is that nagging and criticism can destroy a marriage.
I would say so.
Yeah. Or overbearing wives who treat their husbands like children.
Mm-hmm.
You know, I'm talking to you.
You know what I'm saying to you, Peter? I don't treat. This is the thing.
Yes, you do.
This is the thing.
We've been married 17 years, and my
about,
wife still tries to direct me like I'm 5.
No, that's not good. I think, you know what?
Is the mother in you?
Yes, I just think I just be like, oh, babe, you know, don't forget to do this. Or
yeah, no, babe,
it ain't even.
I even sent you a video. I even showed you a video today when the guy was driving, and he was like, she was like, hey, babe, don't forget to stop at the stop sign. He was like, oh, thank you, baby. Thank you so much. You just saved my life. Thank you.
Pedro, it was done out of love. When I'm speaking
it's not
to
done.
yes, it is. When I'm
done
speaking
out of annoyance.
That's not true. No, Pedro, that's not true. That's not true. I just feel it's annoyance to you, but for me, it's not that.
So let's get back to this, because criticism.
Mm-hmm.
There is constructive criticism,
and then there's
negative criticism.
Mm-hmm.
Constructive is if you're saying, look, I think you should probably try to do it this way, because this way is not working.
Right.
But like, if I was to be like, you know, why are you gaining weight after you had a child? Or why are you looking like that? You don't look right. Or what's the other thing? Why do you do that? I think I said that to you the other night, right. But I wasn't being critical of you. I was just, giving a point. Because you like things a certain way.
Mm-hmm.
You like, I can go and I'll move something, and you go move it because you want it in the way you want it. And I'm like, why do you act? Why do you do that? Like,
I ask you, why do you do the stuff you do?
Why can't I have it my way?
Because
why? It wasn't even bothering nobody. Why do you have to touch it? Because you just have to touch it? Like you just have to touch the fan because the fan was just saying, touch me.
I had to me.
Touch me.
I was looking at the fan.
And the fan was fine.
And I just thought, oh,
the fan was fine. The fan had been touched for like months. But you go in there, oh, I got to touch the fan. Anyway, and but my point is that
you see, you can't hang on to stuff.
I'm not hanging on to anything. I'm bringing it up. I'm just saying, we have to be careful how we criticize and nag. I think sometimes nagging and criticism is a good thing in a short spurt,
right?
Because sometimes the other spouse may not be paying attention or may not be understanding, so you may have to kind of nag, like you're like, babe, don't forget, and then. But to do it all the time, like always nagging, like, oh, why don't you pick up your shoes? Why don't you pick up your socks? Why don't you do this? Why don't you do that? Like that is.
Okay, my thing is, if your wife is asking you to do something that you consistently do, why do it have to be considered nagging? Why it just can't be like, maybe it's irritating her because to the point now she got to continue to do something that you continue to do and you don't see nothing wrong with it.
Because sometimes
you have to look at it that way.
Sometimes it doesn't happen all the time, because then what a woman does, oh, you do it all the time. But when I say you do it all the time, I don't do it all the time. I only done this one time. Mm-hmm. Oh, remember those conversations? Nah, see, that's why you smiling.
No, because
you know what I'm talking. Yeah. Oh, that just made you quiet. Look at you. Now you got nothing to say, do you?
Oh, because I know what I mean when I say stuff or when I do stuff. It ain't like what you saying.
What you mean? Wait. I mean, it's not like what I'm saying it is. So what I'm saying is not true?
No, because now you make it seem like it's nagging when it's not.
I didn't say it's nagging.
Okay.
I said it's being annoying.
You know what? You know what's annoying?
What?
When you don't do the things you need to do. So I won't say anything. That's what I'm saying.
But that's
if
the
you
thing.
No, I'm just saying if you do what you got to do, then maybe you won't be sad.
And if I did what I did, then you wouldn't have a problem. But sometimes it doesn't get done.
What I'm saying is that you have to understand if something is being said, it's because it's something that you're doing to cause me to then say something.
That's not necessarily true, because sometimes I don't have to do anything for you to be annoyed.
Okay. Like you're annoying me right now?
Yes.
Yeah, you are. You so annoying right now.
I'm glad. We can show the people what we're talking. We can give them a live example.
You're not making me happy right now.
Being annoying to each other.
You're making me not happy.
How am I not making you happy?
Because you're making me use what you're saying.
What you mean? What? I'm not doing anything. You're doing it to yourself. Anyway. But like I said, so let's try not to criticize or nag. Sometimes sometimes if the person is going through something, find out what is going on. Maybe the person's tired. Maybe they just worked 12-hour shift and they just walked in the house. Maybe they didn't even realize that they did what they did. If you don't know, if you don't communicate and say, hey, why did you do this? And then they say, oh, I'm sorry. I just, I was a little tired. I just, I apologize. I'll go. And then that's the end of it. But no, you don't have to always, go into, oh, you always do this, you always do that. That's not good for any marriage.
Of course it's not.
Now you're changing it too. And we'll go to Colossians 3, verse 19, which says, husbands, love your wives and do not be bitter toward them.
Yeah.
That right there is where I will say that is the best.
So you bitter? You bitter towards me? You bitter?
Can I talk?
Okay, go ahead.
Thank you. So like
that means you bitter.
You still not letting me talk.
Okay, go ahead and finish.
Now you're being annoying. Now you're being nagging. That's nagging right there.
Don't try to use no Bible
You are.
Go ahead, Peter.
I forgot my thought now.
That ain't my fault. Your memory messed up.
Don't be better towards them, because I think we can hold on to things. When you hold on to things like you're doing right now,
I'm not holding on to anything.
Then you know what? Then you will. It can cause you to be nagging and have criticism. But like I said, let's pretty much, we don't need to find fault. We all have fault in our lives. You don't need to always point out the fault.
But we need to have a sense of humor and be cheerful towards each other, just to make each other laugh.
Nobody's perfect.
No.
We all have faults.
Yes.
And if we can just come to a common ground and how to work through those faults, then everything will be okay. Definitely. So sometimes you can make it a little joyous. Sometimes you can make it into a joke. But here goes a perfect sentence. Okay. The secret of a successful marriage lies not in having the right partner, but in being the right partner. That just ends that subject right there.
So it ended. Okay.
Don't you think?
Okay.
Okay.
The secret to a successful marriage lies in having the right partner.
I just said that. Why are you reading it again?
I was kind of comprehending.
In your own way?
Yes.
In what way? Because you read it the same way I read it.
I guess
that's what I'm saying. You always do
no,
that. Go behind it.
No, I was thinking of being a good partner is someone that's not thinking about their own needs. You're thinking about the needs of the person that you love. That's what I was thinking about. Thinking about because you putting their needs before your own. By being a good partner. That's what I'm saying. Somebody may be understanding, the secret to a partner, what is that? So I was kind of elaborating on that part, kind of, going into that thing. That's what I'm saying. When you put a person needs before your own, that's showing love. That's showing that, you're not being selfish. You thinking about them. You letting them know, look, okay, tell me how you feel. If I said something to hurt you, tell me. What can I do to fix it? That's showing compassion. Okay. You get what I'm saying? So if I know I did something wrong to you, I'm gonna come to you and I'm gonna say, babe, you know what did I do? Tell me.
You already know what you did.
Tell me.
Don't say, come, what did I do? Say, I'm sorry for what I did. I know what I did.
No, be quiet. I could be like, tell me.
Be quiet.
I could be like, babe.
We're supposed to be helping folks, not showing them,
people.
What not to do.
I'm telling y'all, this is what I'm saying. I could be like, hey, is it something that I said that, you don't like that I said, or something that made you then, click, whatever. If I said something to hurt you, I'm sorry. Because the words hurt. They cut like a knife. That's all I'm saying.
Okay.
Anyway.
Let's move on to the next subject.
Okay. So do not overdo in anything. Be temperate.
Like you're overdoing right now?
I thought you said we're trying to show the people you're just a bad example.
So what do you mean overdoing? So like I almost destroyed our marriage with that too, with working too much. Where I was never around. I was working. Yeah. I think part of it was that we were in such a bad place. My work was like my outlet. So I would just like go work so I could just be out the house.
And
just
you
have
know
to
what? To
come
be
in.
honest with you, when you used to work like that, I used to be happy because I'd be like, "Oh, thank goodness, I'll see him later." At least by the time I see Pedro, I'll be tired, sleepy. We'll have a probably quick conversation, then bedtime. You know. And I used to
Really?
think like, yeah, because even though you was going, it was my.
Shame on you.
I'm being honest.
Shame on
I'm being
you.
honest. I'm being honest. I used to be happy sometimes because I used to be like, okay,
So
good.
you happy now? Because you do that to me now. As soon as I walk in the door, you go to sleep.
No, that's because I done got older and my body just need rest. But anyway, I'm just saying in the sense of, you know, you saying that was your outlet for you. And I was like, sometimes you'd be like, okay, I'm glad he's working late because now I could just, you know, think. Because you was home, then we arguing about whatever it is.
And that just overdo. I mean, not just work, but exercise, play, meals, social contact.
Mm-hmm.
All of it must be balanced.
Mm-hmm.
Cut down the screen time.
Yeah.
We talked about that for us for the Sabbath is cutting down the phones for us and the children on the Sabbath. Because, with Zoom and stuff, you start looking at everything on Zoom, on your phone and stuff. And it's like, no, we got to have to cut that down and put the phones down for the day, take a break. That's overdoing it. Getting a lack of sleep.
Yep.
Eating properly. And something that you've been wanting me to do, but exercise, which I know I need to do.
Yeah, we gotta hit up the gym though, for real. Even though that's not your thing, I ain't never
not
seen.
my thing.
I never seen guys. I never seen my husband exercise since we've been together.
Because my jobs are always my jobs are always my exercise. When I worked, I used to work out in the open. Yeah. So that was my exercise.
But I just think it's important that I think it's very important to spend as much time as you can together. Sometimes people feel like, like going out is a time of spending time. I just think, maybe making a movie night or something like that. Anything, go for a walk together.
We can't do movie nights because you fall asleep.
We do movie nights during the day.
That's not a movie night.
When I'm up. Yes, it is. It's a movie night for me because 9 o'clock, I don't know what it is on my body like clockwork. I'm tired.
Anyway. Right, so pretty much like we're doing now. So even with like overdoing it, like you have to learn to laugh with each other and not always be so serious about everything.
Yeah.
In a marriage, joke. I try joking with you sometimes, but you get so irritated so fast.
Sometimes your jokes make me.
No. Your jokes, no. Your jokes you doing. No, they make you feel like I'm saying you're doing something wrong when I'm just joking. Like I forgot, I said something the other day, and I had a big old smile on my face, and you was all getting all bent out of shape. I'm like. And your son and Junior's looking at you like, nah, Dad is joking. I can see him from here. He's looking at me. He's looking at you. He's like, nah, really? Dad is joking. Like, look at his face. He's smiling and laughing. And you're over there getting all like, and I'm like, come on.
But you have to know your audience. You have to know your wife. You have to know.
Come on.
You have to know when I'm ready to receive it. You have to know when when you're ready. You have to know when I'm ready to receive a joke. Okay, maybe at that time I wasn't ready.
I must know when you're ready to receive a joke.
You come and you observe.
Where will you be ready to receive a joke then?
Yeah, I just told you.
That comment to me.
I just told you. I said you have to come and observe me.
I have to come observe.
Yes. So assess this situation.
Oh, Lord. See,
like sometimes, my eye, because sometimes I will come and I look at you and see what type of mood you're in before I come and say something to you. It's the truth.
What?
Yeah.
Anyway, you know what? See, folks, this is why we do this because, honestly, even during this podcast, we probably should not be doing what we're doing.
Okay, but going
back and forth.
And what? That was going with this point. Respect each other's personal rights and privacy.
I do that anyway.
No, I was just saying. I said, well, that's kind of going to what I'm saying, like going to. See how what mood your spouse is in.
That's not going in your mood. That's a totally different aspect of respecting your space.
Okay.
And your privacy, which I totally do, and you do for me too.
Yeah.
We don't go in each other's phones.
Yeah, but why do I need to go on your phone for?
No, but I'm saying most people, want to check the next person's phone. We see those little clips where the wife is trying to get into the husband's phone and stuff, and he's standing there, and stuff. Or he may leave his phone downstairs and he's running down the stairs to get it.
What you think about that? What you think about that Find My Phone thing on iPhone? You think that's a good thing to have in marriage?
Why not?
No, I'm just asking because some people may feel like, oh,
I don't use it.
no, I'm just saying some people may feel like, oh, why you got that family thing? You can see where they at all times or something like that. Then, if that's the case,
I
why
use
you
it for
ain't
the
doing?
kids.
Yeah, but I'm just saying for husband and wife in perspective.
I don't. If you're using it for the right reason, I use it. I don't use it on you. I
Yeah,
don't look to see. I think if you're traveling somewhere and you're not too comfortable traveling, I may use a den to just see where you at.
yeah,
Like when we was traveling, when I was in London, you traveled on the train with the kids to London. I used the den to see where you was at, to locate you,
yeah.
to see where you was at in reference to getting into London.
Yeah, but
'Cause
I'm
you were
just saying.
stuck-
But
you
I'm
were
saying
stuck
if you
in the
use
train
it,
for a while.
yeah. But if you using to find my phone and be like, oh, let me see what this. Let me see what he
No,
at.
that's
Let
not
me see.
respecting the
Well,
privacy
let
of
me
the
see what
person.
she at. You know,
That's
type
not
of thing.
respecting the privacy of the person. Of course, you don't do that. That's
Yeah.
my point. If
Yeah.
you're using it for the right reason,
Mm-hmm.
that's what I'm saying. Yeah.
Yeah.
But it's not just about that. It's about just respecting, even when we come into the house, and like if I come home, you don't just jump right in and like want to come sit next to me and start talking. You'll respect me to be like, I'll go upstairs, maybe go wash my hands, have something to drink, sit down for a minute, and then I'll come back to you, and then I'll sit down and talk to you. A lot of times, like honestly, like respect each other's privacy in the sense of that. When I get home from work, I will eat, and then we'll have the meeting right now, and then we normally talk after we put the kids to bed.
Right.
And then that's when we have like maybe a 10-15 minute conversation. How was your day? Or we talk about something that we was talking about over the phone. No.
Right. This is where trust can be a big thing. You know what I'm saying? Like, if you truly trust your spouse, you ain't got to go run behind and check no emails. You ain't got to go run behind and check no texts on his phone or who calling him or her or whatever. You could be like, whatever. For me, I don't care about stuff like that. Because at the end of the day, if somebody doing something, whatever's in the dog, it's gonna come to the light. And I truly believe that. So nothing stay undone under the sun.
That's why I don't worry about it.
Right.
But that has nothing to do with finding me on my phone.
That's talking about the sense of trust. Because if you trust someone, you ain't got to be. Let me see what they.
You shouldn't be married to somebody if you can't trust them.
Well,
And then if that's the case, then why do you feel that untrust? Because a lot of times,
if people giving you a reason to, then it's different.
No, can I finish my statement?
Yes.
A lot of times, you feel like you can't trust the next person because you're doing something that you shouldn't be doing.
Yeah, that's true too.
And so it makes you feel paranoid towards that person.
So you be like, oh, because you doing wrong.
Mm-hmm.
You're like, maybe they doing something. No, but it's you. You out there doing something that you shouldn't be doing.
So that's why. And like, I don't go into your, even though you went into my wallet the other day.
What?
Yeah, I went to my wallet. I said, "Man, I need my wallet." And I said, "Look at my wallet."
Oh
and I was like, "This chick took some. Like, how you gonna take money out of my wallet? You can just ask me."
Wait.
You gave me back the wallet.
What happened?
You didn't even say like, "Babe, I took some money out." If you had said, "Babe, I took some money out," I'd be like, "Cool, that's cool."
No, what happened?
You handed me the wallet, and I went down the car. And I'm like, "Wait a minute." Why you take money out of my wallet? See, that's what I'm saying. That's not respecting my privacy.
Wait a minute. It ain't like
a busted.
Wait a minute, that wasn't even like that.
Yes, I blew you up. I did.
That wasn't even like that. I saw your eyes. Oh, it felt like cushy. And I said, let me see what's in here. So when I opened it up, I was like, oh, he got somebody here. And I said, well, I'll just take $10 or whatever. And then it was no lie. So I gave him a while and closed the door. I closed the door. And I promise you, like ESP. And he was like, open the door. And he was like, you have to see him. You have to see me in your face. I don't know if we got no video on the ring. But anyway.
We probably do.
So he just standing there and he opened the door. You could have saw my face just drop down. He was like, "Baby, you took my money?" I was like, "What?" I said, "What you talking about?" I was like, "Oh my goodness,
respect my privacy."
Oh my goodness, that was crazy though.
I can't. There's been times I take money out your wallet.
Peter, let me tell you something. That's the truth. And I ain't saying nothing to you, so I don't know why you tripping about 10 pounds. Whatever.
I'm sure. Oh, even better yet. Even better yet. Use your card. Use your card. Be like, here you go. We needed gas.
You know, and I used to get mad about that, but you act like it wasn't an issue.
Wait.
Wait. That might say you owe me money.
No.
I want my money.
Wait, number one. Have I done it in a while?
Yeah,
be honest.
No.
In a while. Nope. So I did listen to you.
But
You look, because we need this for the pot. We had a conversation.
Yes.
And you said, "Babe, could you please stop doing that?" And I stopped doing it.
I want my money.
What money? I don't owe you no money.
You owe me.
You owe me money.
I don't owe you nothing.
Whatever.
What's yours is mine. What's mine is mine.
Okay, let's go to this next one. We're running out of time.
We are. Last one.
Being clean and modest and orderly.
Oh, yeah, I'm definitely clean. I don't like a mess.
I have my moments.
But my husband, I
am not dirty. Don't make it sound like I'm dirty.
I didn't say you was dirty. I just said you have your moments of unorderly stuff.
Yeah, I do. I do get disorderly every now and then.
Yeah, and I'm like, but you need to get your stuff together. You know, that's mostly what it is. You know, and stuff like that.
I get a little lazy sometimes.
Yeah,
I don't have to work on that. But I do clean.
Mm-hmm.
I do clean.
Yeah.
I don't clean?
You do clean, sporadically.
Mm.
But anyway.
Sporadically.
I mean, you do it when it's necessary.
What do you mean when it's necessary?
You clean.
I don't know when it's necessary. Sometimes I clean just because I see the mess. I'm like, I need to go clean.
Yeah.
Whatever. You're not even helping a brother out there. You know what? Whatever.
Okay, Petro.
I believe in having order. Some things in the bedroom, I may make a mess in the bedroom sometimes, but I'll make sure the kitchen, the bathroom, and the living room is clean.
You clean the bathroom?
I used to. You made me stop.
No, I told you. You know what? I'm gonna find
me.
That podcast. I told you that. I don't mind you cleaning the bathroom now. So don't go there with me.
I'm still getting used to that. So you gotta give me a minute to get back into the flow.
Oh my goodness, that's messed up.
It's been so long since you let me touch the bathroom. I forget sometimes.
So in Hebrews 6:12 it says, "Do not become sluggish." #lazy. So you got to make sure you know
hashtag.
That's what I said. #lazy. I put that in parentheses. Yeah.
Whatever.
So it says right here, laziness and disorder can be used by the devil to destroy your respect and affection for one another, and thus harm your marriage.
Okay, yes, we just discussed that. That's why you act like I'm just dirty and I'm just destroying our marriage.
Yeah, so I'm just saying, for a woman or man that's out there, if you home, you're able to be home, and your husband or your wife come through the door and the house is just a complete war zone, then come on now, you got to come there.
Well, wait. Now, let's say if the person's going through something,
or like depression,
or something. Because there was times when I've come home and the house is a mess.
When Peter, don't start on this podcast. That ain't never happened.
Todd, there has never been a time where I've come home and the house is a mess. Nothing was done. And I cleaned the dishes, I vacuumed, I cleaned the table. There's never been a time in our marriage.
Oh, in our marriage. Okay.
In our marriage, it's never ever happened.
It's very
Todd,
very limited.
Don't say it's really happened. It was times where you was not. Todd, it was times in our marriage where we was not in the right on the right terms and stuff, and I was still clean. Don't make it seem like it's not saying that you're dirty. There you go. You make it seem like I'm saying you're dirty. No. Yeah. There was times when you was not feeling it. You was sick, or you was tired, or you had a real rough day, and I would come home and I would clean. So that's all I'm saying. Don't you take everything right there. You always think when I say something like that, I'm saying you're not doing something. No.
Don't put words in my mouth, because I didn't say that. Anyway,
like I said, so yes, so it happens and everything, but it's called working together. Mm-hmm. If I walk in the house and I see that the house is a mess, I'm not going to get on you and be like, why is the house a mess? Mm-hmm. I'm going to go to you and say, hey, are you feeling okay? Everything all right? Do you need some help?
Right.
And then I'll help you.
Right. Well, not a lot of men like that or women like that. But, in 1 Corinthians 14:40, it says, let all things be done in decency and order.
Okay. So now we're going to go to the next one, because we're definitely not doing that right now.
Okay, we got the...
That's speaking softly and kindly, because you don't know how to speak softly.
Okay, this is the last one. Okay.
You did not know how to speak softly.
I don't know how to speak softly. That's not true. I always speak soft with love and compassion that come out of my mouth.
Right.
It
See,
does.
why are you, God is going to strike us both down right now.
No, he's not, because I'm telling the truth. Nothing but the truth. So help me the Lord.
Okay, so help you, Lord. Okay.
I'm just saying.
Okay, so like I said, we actually kind of touched on this earlier.
We speak softly.
When?
I don't speak softly to you.
No.
I'm speaking softly to you.
Now?
I speak softly to you, period.
No.
You just
it's okay.
You speak softly to me?
No. Sometimes I don't. Sometimes I do try to talk to you calmly, and then I get built up, and then I'm like, but that's not good.
The only time you talk calm is through other situations. But anyway, moving on.
When I want something?
Yes, when you want something.
Oh, Lord.
Yeah,
that's not even true.
Hey,
that's not even true.
Yeah, right.
Anyway, like I said, we, as husband and wives, we need to learn to talk softly.
I agree.
And I've always said this to you, every response elicits a response. So if I ask you a question, if you can respond if you respond back to your spouse in a proper way or softly way, it'll get the response that you want. If your husband or your wife comes to you and say, "Hey, I was looking at this. What is this?" and the person goes, "What? What's your?" That's going to automatically start an argument.
Yeah.
But if you say, "What? Explain that to me again," and then you explain it, and then you get it sorted out, and then you talk.
Right.
Talking to each other in a nice, soft tone can eliminate a lot of arguments and disagreements and things that are going on in a marriage.
Right.
If you will just talk in a proper tone.
Yeah, I agree with that.
And it's not that hard to do.
Yeah.
They say it's harder to frown than it is to smile.
Yeah. Yeah.
So if we was to follow that same concept, then it would work that way.
Yeah.
Just like in Proverbs 15, verse 1, it says, "A soft answer turns away wrath, but a harsh word stirs up anger."
Mm-hmm.
That's all I'm saying.
That's the truth.
Okay.
Mm-hmm.
So we have to talk softly to each other.
Yeah.
And loving to each other. It's not always going to work, but we need to.
We had some other points on here that's kind of, I would say, kind of repeating itself though, but.
Yeah, but I think we pretty much covered what we can. The main thing is that, we just want to, when you look at it, marriage, you should want your marriage to reflect God's unselfish commitment and joyful love for yourself and your spouse.
Mm-hmm.
And you just want to be able to make peace and understanding if you guys quarrel, even if the other person's right, you can go and say, "Look, I'm sorry that this happened."
Be quick to apologize.
And talk it out. Communication, more than anything. Go back to it again. Communicate.
Yeah,
communicate and say, "This is what bothered me."
Yeah. And
understand that you both have a part in the conversation, and we both can come together and say, "Okay, I don't totally agree with you, but you know what? This is my point. This is your point. Let's try to meet in the middle."
Yeah.
And then we go from there. And we figure it out.
Agree to disagree.
To disagree. Respect each other's space. Respect each other's privacy. Respect each other's opinion.
Yes.
And understand that it's just, you're not the same person. So you're always going to have a difference of opinion.
Definitely. I think the main part of this, while we end in this, is to keep God first. Pray together. Always try to make that time. Whether you I know it can be a rush thing. Not everybody make time, but if you can, just pray together, no matter what time of the day it is. It ain't always got to be in the morning, and it always got to be in the evening. When you find an opportunity, find a point where you guys say, "Okay, we're going to pray together." Just make that something that you do inside of your marriage that's a normal for you guys.
Yes, and if you do that, then everything will work itself out.
Definitely.
Okay. So we want to thank you for joining us today.
Thank you guys. We had such a good time.
Yeah, we did. My wife just irritated me, but that's okay.
Whatever. Don't try to throw all this on me.
I'm throwing it on you.
No.
But,
that's messed up.
But we want to thank you for joining us on Marriage Can Heal podcast.
That's right, guys.
Again, as we always say, thank you. Join us next week.
That's right.
Hope to see you then.
That's right.
And if you would like to help support our ministry, you can always go to PayPal, and that is Goddard's Ministry. I never remember. Let's go Cash App first. Cash App is the British pound sign Marriage Can Heal Too.
Right.
PayPal is at Goddess Ministry.
That's right.
Or you can contact us at Marriage Can Heal Podcast at
Gmail.
Would you like to say it?
At gmail.com.
Well, let me talk. Anyway.
My name is Tara.
My name is Pedro.
And y'all be blessed.
And be blessed.
Drop the beat now.